only business radio in Nigeria, Impact Business Radio, also known as Amutajero. We are particularly delighted and honored to have our own, and during his tenure here, we have the first business radio. One and only Deacon Titus Alaushetu, FCA, the 52nd President of ICANN. Accountancy is a very unique profession. It's an indispensable vehicle for improvement in business or even in governance. Our training enables us to look and adopt a pragmatic and objective approach to solving problems. Thus, accountants are strategically positioned to contribute to the overall stability and progress of businesses and the society in general. Quite a lot has gone into training accountants. Accountants are part of the society. You can't afford to stand apart from that society. ICANN as a body should please gear up to protect and promote the profession and the professional interest of accountants generally. Public expectations are high, but confidence level is low. Today, budgets are not reliable, financial reports lack integrity. Public are asking, what role are accountants playing in all this that is happening in our society? We should be encouraged to uphold the values of integrity, objectivity, professional competence, due care, and confidentiality. When torn between upholding the values central to the profession and the demands of the real world, we should please stand by our core ethics. Whether in private or public sector, whether the economy is shrinking or expanding, whether business is in formative growth or declining stage, the contribution and the need for an accountant can never be overstated, irrespective of what stage the economy is. My mind, those of us in this great profession have great chance because we understand the language of business. We are by training better equipped to assess the risk and evaluate trade policies and take advantage of SOB. Our members should please be encouraged to venture into business and go into politics to prove what stuff we have between our ears. When we do, we should please support them for success. Why we decided to go into radio? Today's Nigeria is tumultuous, economically, politically, and socially. Quite a lot of crises everywhere. So we believe radio has a great potential to impact people's lives. Thanks to its widespread availability and reach, radio is particularly effective in providing life-transforming information to people living in poverty or promote harmony in the society. IBR, also known as Amutajero, is harnessing these potentials to provide vital information for and about the people. We reach almost the entire Southwest, and our ambition is to service the being of our stakeholders, promote entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial development. We seek to create the platform for economic advocacy, especially in the interest of small and medium-scale enterprises, promote the involvement of the voiceless in economic issues, and helping people hold power to account.
I want to thank you very much for receiving us so warmly at this place, this afternoon, because what makes accountancy to be unique is demonstrated in your chairman here. He left engineering to become an accountant. Have you not said that one today? Yes, sir. Have you heard of anybody who left accountancy to become an engineer? It's a thing of joy to see one of us demonstrating those qualities and values that we have preached. In the last few years, our students have been talking about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. And in fact, during my acceptance speech, I mentioned something like that. We have seen it demonstrated in practice that an accountant can be a successful entrepreneur. I want to thank our brother for taking the mantle to lead the way, walk the talk, and give us a place like this. Since our country is passing through difficult times, these are the kind of things we need to do to take us out of the woods.
Five months after we started, we sat down on our own. We didn't know how to do it. We were rated the best news station in Oyo State. As I'm talking to you now, the media rating for Oyo State, January, February. January we came second, February we came second. And if you know, out of 22, some of them being backed by, people who are people. I'm sure even after many of us would have left here, when you get to the gate and they say, Mr. Olabiola Dejo, many of us will still say, who is that? Right? But despite I don't have a name, we put this together and we've got into the second position. The one idea really is this: Ijota Abdu, call and come.
We operate in a society. We are part of the society. We cannot take ourselves out of the problem of the society. We can minimize the problem, we can contain the problem, but the fact that we are in a society, we are affected. Because we are in Nigeria, that's why we are having epileptic power supply. There could be unemployment, but we encourage our people to be employers, not to be employment seekers, like the chairman has demonstrated. But the good news is that we can be light in the midst of darkness. So the problems are there, the country's problems are there, but we are there to solve the problem. And that's why we have been created, to be part of the solution and not be part of the problem. As accountants, we are expected to be good citizens of the country. And that's why we can talk about the ills of the country. You know, those people who are part of the problems of the country, they don't talk about it. But those who are finding the solution, they will talk about the problems of the country. We are responsible as citizens, as good corporate citizens, to tell our government what is wrong and to help them to know how to navigate and come out of the doldrums. And especially that we are having what is known as recession. So we preach the gospel of accountability, of integrity to everybody that want to listen to us in the country, because without it, we are going nowhere. Corruption and development, they don't go hand in hand. Where there is one, the other will be missing. Where there is corruption, there can be no development. And where corruption is reduced to the barest minimum, obviously there will be development.
One of the greatest things that God did for me was for me to become an accountant. And anytime, any day, I will always honor whoever is an accountant. I would not know, maybe because of the way I went into it. It's a very tasking profession. The exam is something else. No matter what you may have in one subject, once you fail one, you have to repeat everything. So anytime I see anybody say, I'm a chartered accountant, I want to pity such a fellow. What you have gone through. If you can, be a chartered accountant.
The World Teachers Day, and well, we'll be discussing about the teachers today on our program with the theme valuing teachers, improving their status, and that is what we'll be looking at on the program this morning. Once again, welcome. I am Olutayo Ogmade, and my partner is here with me, Opeyemi Ojabanjo. Opeyemi, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Olutayo, and good morning to our dear listener. Thank you for joining us. Today is yesterday was World Teachers Day, and today we'll be looking at it in full scale. We couldn't bring it your way yesterday because of the economy today. So we are still celebrating our teachers of all teachers. And recently on social media, people took to the social media, Facebook, Twitter, to celebrate their teachers. And I came with this word. I said we have accidental teachers, deliberate teachers. You can figure that out. This year, World Teachers Day marks the 50th anniversary of the adoption of the 1966 ILO UNESCO recommendation concerning the status of teachers. It is also the first World Teachers Day, WTD, to be celebrated within the new Global Education 2030 agenda adopted by the world community a year ago. This year's theme, valuing teachers, improving their status. If you followed us during the newspaper review segment, we read out a particular story from Ekiti State. So you can begin to figure that out as well. It embodies the fundamental principles of the 50-year-old recommendation while shining a light on the need to support teachers as reflected in the Agenda's Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. A specific education goal, SDG 4, pledges to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all. Teachers are not only important to the right to education, they are key to achieving the targets set out in SDG 4. So this morning we'll be looking at the theme, valuing teachers, improving their status.
Oh yes, and joining us on the program this morning is a trained and seasoned teacher. We have, he's a former principal lecturer at Lagos State Polytechnic and also former teacher, Loyola College, Mr. Daniel Abiodun Finde, joining us on the program this morning. Good to have you join us, sir.
Good morning, you're welcome.
You're welcome to Rise and Shine, yes, on Impact Business Radio. World Teachers Day, celebrated yesterday anyway, and you are a teacher, and of course, we're comparing teachers in Nigeria to their counterparts globally. Let's talk about the essence of today, of the day in particular, with the theme valuing teachers and improving their status. What does the celebration mean to teachers themselves?
Well, the celebration of the day must have been set out for the teacher to reassess themselves and determine the value attached to their profession. And two, for people who have passed through the teachers to value their teacher, to see how much they can give back to the teachers. And intentionally, for people who are running the educational system to be able to value the teacher and appropriately compensate them, because more dangerously, educational therapy is more lasting than even medical therapy, because it takes a long time to educate the child, and medically it takes some time to treat a patient. But when you are talking of education, it's totality all the time. So to value the teacher comes in many dimensions. One, the former students should be able to value them. The current students should be able to give them their right value. Two, the teacher themselves should be able to add quality to themselves. They should be proud of the work they are doing. So that is the purpose I believe the day must be set aside for.
As looking at our country, Nigeria, we often place other profession above the teaching profession. It appears we don't value our teachers. Why do you think this came to be?
Well, it's a mistake of the present generation. I could remember very well in the days, in the 50s and the 60s, the days of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He was not the only person in that direction. He had a lot of people. I can remember Chief Awokoya, who joined him in making education a priority. And they make education priority. And that is what the western region of Nigeria is still enjoying to tomorrow. We enjoy the education, we enjoy the industry. Awolowo single-handedly industrialized the West, right from Lagos to Asaba. So all the industries there, all the forest reserves there, they were not bushes before. They were reserves created by his government. And it was a regional government. He did the same thing for education. And the benefit of education that he did that time is what we are reaping today. The teachers then were trained. You call them standard 6, but they do what a PhD holder will do today in school. So in those days, the then government placed value on education because they knew they were building the future. Unfortunately for us, I wouldn't say everybody. I would say, well, maybe statistically we can say maybe 30% of those who benefited from that development are those people who are now destroying the system again. And by that, what we are doing now, we are only destroying the future of our generation. And this is very, very unpalatable for us.
All right, the other time you spoke about the government valuing the teachers, the students valuing their teachers, and the teachers themselves also placing value on themselves. We talk about teacher education. But some have said abrogating grade 2 teachers, colleges in Nigeria was like a death sentence on teacher education in Nigeria. What do you say about this?
Well, by the time they look at grade 2 training, in fact, in those days you started from grade 3, grade 2, then the NCE, then you have the BSc. Each of these stages has the purpose. They have the level where they're supposed to teach. They have the level of students they're supposed to accommodate. But by and large, by the time we now got to a particular time, people now believe that going for grade 2 is now a second-class citizen. Salary-wise, they are downgraded. By the time you look at what is happening, people just go for those courses simply because they don't have anything to do. So, by and large, by the time you know what is happening, the teachers that are being produced themselves, they are substandard. So, there's nothing they can do again. That's why some people now came back with the policy that, okay, let's make sure anybody that is teaching has a qualification that is NCE or BSc. And all these ones that we are saying, BSc qualification and all this one or all your qualification does not matter, but the substance, what you have been taught, what you are ready to impact. So if we cancel NCE, we cancel grade 2, can those curriculum content be integrated into the degree program? How far